Errol Spence Jr. has lost more fights than Manny Pacquiao. Welcome, it's Coffee with the Goose. So glad to have you join me for another show. Yes, I'm the Goose, and we are excited. The big fight between Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. drawing closer, and we have some more good information for you this time around. First, though, gotta have our coffee. That's what it's all about. Our Java, very strong, just like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it oh so sweet, and yeah, that's me. I try to be oh so sweet. All right, what's on tap now? We've been so excited, and most of the boxing world, most of the sporting world's been excited about this fight that's coming oh so soon at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The undefeated champion Errol Spence Jr., 27-0 with 21 KOs, against the champion in recess, WBA, Manny Pacquiao, 62-7 with 2 draws and 39 KOs. So it's one legend and one legend to be, maybe. We'll see. It's going to be a great fight. But, it's unlike Pacquiao's previous fight. Yes, it's another undefeated young champion in his prime. Yes, that's similar. But the two characters, the two personalities are completely different. Of course, in Pacquiao's last fight 2 years ago, it was Keith Thurman, and Thurman's issue, and great fighter, gave Pacquiao all he could handle. But Thurman's issue was he couldn't keep his mouth shut, and he still can't keep his mouth shut. But his current or soon-to-be opponent, Errol Spence Jr., he's not like that. He is an introvert. He does not like the limelight. He does not just talk just to be talking. Errol Spence Jr. is respectful to Manny Pacquiao. He knows what he's got to do. And he knows the price that Keith Thurman paid for talking a little too much down on his rear end in the first round. That's probably not going to happen with Errol Spence Jr. What are the differences in size, their physical attributes? Of course, Errol Spence Jr. 5'9.5" with a 72-inch reach. Pacquiao 4 inches shorter with a 67-inch reach. Yes, same weight class. Yeah, I know. The night of the fight, Spence will weigh probably, who knows, 10, maybe even 15 pounds heavier than Pacquiao. But no, he's not bigger in the classical sense. He's taller, he's rangier, but that's about it. Now, as far as the respect issue goes, Spence, in my book, stepped on it recently. Yeah, he said the things that any fighter would say. Yeah, I want to retire Pacquiao, and I'm very confident, blah, blah, blah. But then he was asked just a couple days ago, Errol, this is the biggest fight in your career, isn't it? The most important fight in your career. Spence said, no, it's not. Really? Really? You're going to fight Manny Pacquiao? This isn't the biggest fight of your career? What's bigger? Spence, get this. He said the Kell Brook fight in, I think, 2017 was the biggest fight of his career. Why? Well, he won the IBF title that night, and it was a big stepping stone for him. And Kell Brook, of course, was a great champion, and he lost because even though he was winning the fight for quite a while. Keep that in mind. He ended up having to quit because, just like Pacquiao did with Antonio Margarito, Spence broke an orbital bone in his eye socket, and so he really had to call it quits. But Spence, not only did he say that was the most important fight of his career, not the upcoming Pacquiao fight, but he also took it a step further. Spence said, well, Kell Brook was the best welterweight in the world at that time. Really? Well, I look back at that spring of 2017. Pacquiao was the WBO World Welterweight titleist. So you're going to tell me, Kell Brook, and any of you Kell Brook, fanboys, you're going to tell me, really, as good as, Kell Brook was, that he was or has ever been better than Manny Pacquiao? Really? No way. Wake up. It's not true. And again, all respect due to all of these guys. I mean, they're all championship fighters, but you cannot tell me with a straight face, you or Errol Spence Jr., that Kell Brook was or has ever been better than Manny Pacquiao. No way. So I chalk that up into the disrespect Pacquiao column. Another thing we want to keep in mind, and I don't think anybody else has looked into this really. I like to do my homework. I'm not going to just sit here and spout up whatever I want to say and, that's supposed to be the gospel truth. No. I don't claim to be, the expert. But I like to do a little research. Well, guess what? Errol Spence Jr. has lost more fights than Manny Pacquiao. Yes, he has. Yes, Errol Spence Jr. is undefeated. I know he's 27-0, but that's on the pro ranks. He was an amateur for several years, just like Pacquiao was. Well, Pacquiao, 7 losses in his pro career and 4 in his amateur career, so he's lost 11 times. And Errol Spence Jr. has lost 12 times as an amateur. So, who's unbeatable? Well, neither one of them, to be perfectly honest. Here's something else to keep in mind. They're 2 left-handers. When's the last time you saw a fight with 2 left-handers? I can't remember seeing one. The David Diaz-Manny Pacquiao fight. That's the last. That's the only one that comes to mind. That's what makes part of what makes this an interesting fight. But Errol Spence Jr. and again, I've done my homework here. Of those 12 fights, it may be more because I was unable to. Some of those amateur opponents that he fought, I was unable to find out whether they were left-handed or orthodox fighters. But Spence has lost 4 times to left-handers, including twice to the same guy. Yep. That Olympic loss. When was that? Oh, goodness, I can't remember the year. But, Pacquiao, Errol Spence Jr. has lost at least 4 times to left-handers. How many times has Manny Pacquiao lost to left-handers? None. Hasn't happened. Keep that in mind. More food for your boxing brain to soak up as you and I get ready for this big fight. And we all want to make predictions, right? I'm not going to make mine yet. I'm going to wait till we're going to head out to a birthday bash up in Connecticut and then head to Vegas here pretty soon. So right before we leave, I'll make my prediction. I'll give you my daughter's prediction. Now, this is fascinating. I didn't think my 15-year-old daughter was, well, she's listening to Dad, right? So, hey, she's learned a few things. My daughter says both fighters, Spence and Pacquiao, will be knocked down in this fight. And Manny will take him out in the 10th round. So there's your official prediction from my almost entirely Filipino daughter. So there you go. Anyhow, it's going to be a great fight. Again, coming up on August 21st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. I will be there with my wife and children, and my great producer Jude will be there likewise with the family. The great Filipino contingent will be there in Vegas for the big fight, and we will we'll do a lot of interviews. We are very, very excited. Who knows who we're going to run into, but I can make this prediction. We're gonna see a lot of bigwigs, and they love to talk. You show them the microphone, you show them the camera, they're going to come running to you. So it's going to be fun. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, August 21st. Manny Pacquiao against Errol Spence Jr., kind of a unification bout in the welterweight division. And stick with us. We're going to bring you all the latest and some information other people just aren't giving you, like we just did. So, 2 weeks. Woo! Oh, this is exciting. Trying to, keep my emotions in check. We'll do a lot of yelling that night. And again, we're going to do lots of interviews the week of the fight. So stick with us. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to be prepared. We're going to, know all the ins and outs about all the fighters, their trainers. We're going to know the betting odds. We're going to have all the information we need. And so when we sit down with the popcorn and whatever you're going to drink that night, you're going to be ready. I'm going to be ready. Jude, my producer, is going to be ready. Let's get ready to rumble, right? August 21st in Vegas. That's it for this edition of Coffee with a Goose. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing. And once again, love your comments. I learn quite a bit from you guys. You're the most knowledgeable boxing crowd there is. So keep it coming. You guys have a great time in Vegas or watching the fight, as we will, and we'll talk to you again soon.